All right. Let's see. On. Okay. All right. Back for another stream. Back for another stream. Hold on. Do I have my Yeah. Okay. All right. So listen. We have multiple different topics we're going to talk about today. Um, I'm low key behind just a little bit on editing them into videos, about like a week behind, but it's kind of hard. I realize it's kind of hard to turn these into videos like every single day. But you know what? We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So the plan is today, or for this stream, what we're going to talk about is obviously I have some uh, federal government threatening to pull transit funding because, of course, that's like I feel like that's like the common topic nowadays, isn't it? But we're gonna talk about that, talk about the MBTA, and we're gonna talk about CTA, and then from there we're gonna go over to Maryland, and we're gonna talk about the Purple Line, and then from there we're gonna talk about the Howard Street Tunnel because I don't feel like I talk about enough freight transportation, like freight rail. Um, I think the last one I did was like that video on Michigan or something like that. So I really want to get some more, because freight transportation is important too. I don't want to neglect the class one freight railroads. Um, this is the Howard Street Tunnel. Honestly, I I really wish it was the Frederick Douglass tunnel that was opening. Yeah, but apparently, well, not apparently. I've actually been watching this uh, tunnel project pretty closely for like the past. I think it's been like 9 months. But basically, CSX. Because of I think the what's it called? What was it? The Francis Scott Key Bridge. Remember? I think if you remember, that was the bridge that got hit by a ship, and then the bridge fell apart, and so like the port of Baltimore has been like struggling a lot because of that, and so now they've been struggling with like traffic and stuff like that. So like a lot of shipping companies have been going to other ports, and so the Howard Street Tunnel was a project to increase the 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 loading gauge so that CSX can run double stack containers through the tunnels, so that now like they can reopen the port to its like full capacity again. But yeah, all right. Um, let's start off with some annoying news. I don't know. I don't want to say this is good or bad. It's just kind of annoying. It's not like anything's really happening, but it's obviously some drama.
It is an ultimatum from the White House to the MBTA. Make your buses and trains safer or lose federal funding. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Wade. Tonight, Tammy Mutasa shows us how the feds are using a recent incident on a bus to justify their demands.
Tonight, transit riders say, could the T be better? Absolutely. But do they feel unsafe? They say not really. They do feel the feds are overreaching. The attacks have been shocking. A woman violently shoved off an MBTA bus in.
What? Yeah. Okay. All right. I feel like all right. Hold on. I need to process. I think I was just watching, and I need to actually process what I saw. Hold on 1 second.
Overreaching. The attacks have been shocking. A woman violently shoved off an MBTA bus in Roxbury last week. Victims randomly whacked with a belt-wielding man on another MBTA bus in Cambridge last month. These are examples of why the U.S. Transportation Secretary is calling out the MBTA to do more to deter crime or lose their federal funds.
And yo, I'm not gonna lie. See, I'm gonna have to bring it up. I'm gonna have to bring it up. This is exactly what I was talking about. I think like 2 streams ago when Mom Donnie was talking about how making the buses free actually decreased crimes around the fare box. Hey, listen, okay? This is true. It decreased the crime by 36%, I believe. Um, but I think like when there's something about having to pay for something when you're already struggling that invigorates people and then they start acting out. You know what I'm saying? And it's you like you'll see it's always around the actual doors, like the actual entryway. The fare that's never fully on the bus. It's always at the door. Always at the door. And so like I don't know. I kind of there needs to be a study on this because I every single time I haven't really seen fights personally in my life, and I've taken public transportation um, uh, my entire life, but I haven't seen fights actually take place on buses. I've seen them take place off of buses after people have gotten off, but not on buses themselves. So, but every single time I see a video of a fight taking place on a bus, it's always at the door. Every time. It always has to deal with somebody getting on the bus, then causing a disturbance, and then a passenger throwing them off the bus or a bus driver throwing them off the bus. It's always that. It's something really, yeah, exactly. I think it's exactly what you said, Patrick. It's a social pressure valve, which is just like it's just like boom, everybody it just completely blows up.
A woman violently shoved off an MBTA bus in Roxbury last week. Victims randomly whacked with a belt wielding man on another MBTA bus in Cambridge last month. These are examples of why the U.S. Transportation Secretary is calling out the MBTA to do more to deter crime or lose their federal funding.
I fundamentally disagree with what the Transportation Secretary is saying. I think myself and most people who ride the MBTA every day have a safe experience.
But for
And
Ryan,
that's the thing, like is exactly to what he's saying. Like it crime on public transportation is not it's very sensationalized. Like it's over sensationalized because of course you see an incident like this gets a lot of views on TikTok or on YouTube or wherever. It will get a lot of views when this gets posted, and then people go, "Wow, look how dangerous public transportation is." But the average ride that you're having is not like this. You know what I'm saying? And so it gets very sensationalized, over sensationalized to the point where it's politicians over focus on crime on public transportation, even though it should be focused, but they over focus on it as a way to as literally as a way to show that they're quote unquote doing something, you know. For example, like I'm happy in New York we have police that go around the train stations themselves and they stand on the platforms. We don't really have police on buses that go through buses, but I'm happy that they're around because it does make me feel safer. But the reality of it is, the, what makes public transportation safe is the fact that there are actually people taking it. You know, on a crowded bus, on a crowded train and stuff like that, where there's more witnesses to a crime, or where there will be more witnesses to a potential crime, it stops potential crimes from actually happening. So that's really what, if public transportation just has people on it, then it actually makes, or a lot of people on it, then actually makes it safer. But yeah, it gets over sensationalized. And so what you have here is the federal government threatening to pull money from public transportation in order to make it safer. That doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah, okay, pull money from people's last mode of transportation before walking, right? before walking to get to their job, before walking to get to school, before walking to get to the hospital. And yeah, that's gonna fix crime. Make it so that people can't get around. That's going to fix crime. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where the real problem is right there. Not ignoring the antisocial part in the U.S. As some people act as you walk on a train and immediately get exactly. It's people really believe that like if I'm as soon as I step on a train station, I'm getting robbed. Like I'm going to get mugged. I'm going to get like somebody is literally going to take me and like pull me into the train tunnel. Like people take it so far because and generally it's just because they don't have any experience taking public transportation. So what happens is this becomes their experience. Taking public transportation, this is what most Americans experience.
Reaching.
This is what they experience. They experience watching it on TikTok. They're not actually using the public transportation, they're just watching it on TikTok. So then this is their idea of what public transportation is. And so and of course, when you have out of touch politicians or politicians who are simply just trying to find excuses to pull money away from cities and from working class people who need that money, they're just gonna use this. They're just gonna manipulate people who don't take public transportation and just see this as their public transportation, and they're just gonna use it as a way to say like, hey, we shouldn't be funding this, which makes no sense. You're going to pull funding away from people who are already on the edge, clearly doing this weird antisocial behavior, right? They're already on the brink of just exploding. You're gonna take more money away from them, and apparently that's gonna help them fix their act.
The attacks have been shocking. A woman violently shoved off an MBTA bus in Roxbury last week. Victims randomly whacked with a belt-wielding man on another MBTA bus in Cambridge last month. These are examples of why the U.S. Transportation Secretary is calling out the MBTA to do more to deter crime or lose their federal funding.
I fundamentally disagree with what the Transportation Secretary is saying. I think myself and most people who ride the MBTA every day have a safe experience.
But for riders who use the T every day, more police presence is always appreciated. But they say the T has bigger problems like efficiency and upgrades.
They're trying to make it a political issue. They're trying to say, oh, all these left-leaning cities are all over the place. And really, things are perfectly fine and safe here. And they're really just trying to crack down.
Chicago is also getting called out for crime concerns. The feds.
I'm not gonna lie, this was going to be my next story. That's actually crazy. It's happening in Chicago too. It's happening in every major city. This is what the federal government, under the Trump administration, is basically doing. They just aim at a large city and they're just like, how can I find an excuse to pull funding away from you? And so then they pull like these very like you. Per capita, if you look at how many people are actually taking public transportation versus how many actual incidents there are, right? And then you also just look at the amount of funding that's going into CTA in general or going into MBTA in general. Like these are very, very, very underfunded public transit agencies already. And so it's a shame that we're using some these rare instances of somebody actually of a crime happening, of like an assault or something like that happening on these systems as a means to say we shouldn't fund this. Because in the end of the day, if we were to look at how many carjackings there are, or how many high-speed chases there are, or just how many DUI cases there are, what, we're gonna just stop funding roads? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Say both cities have cashless bail, which allow repeat offenders to terrorize public places. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying this is about standing up for American families who deserve a safe and clean transportation system.
It's unfortunate, but it would be a false narrative, I think, to say that the system is unsafe.
The Transportation Secretary is demanding the transit agencies to submit reports in 2 weeks saying what they've done to fight crime and stop fare evaders. Transit Matters says the MBTA has deployed a fare engagement team and installed fare gates at North Station, with more coming to South Station.
How will threatening to take away capital funding for projects?
It's just so I just cut her off. But it's just a shame because like it's so distracting. All this stuff that's happening is just distracting from the real issue of these public transit agencies being severely underfunded. CTA is severely underfunded. MBTA literally got shut down by the federal government, not for, the whole crime stuff, but literally because the infrastructure that the MBTA was running on was so bad. So it was like, the reality of it is the fare, like the fare evasion, the crimes, all that type of stuff. It's not the real issue. The real issue is the infrastructure is just bad, and they're using all these minor issues as a way to not actually solve the larger issue at hand. There's just distractions.
To South Station.
How will threatening to take away capital funding for projects support access and, rider safety?
The MBTA says it agrees that rider safety is at the heart of everything they do, saying in a statement, "We're building back trust with the riding public because the T is a safe, dependable system riders can rely on."
I have not noticed problems with crime or anything significant that warrants a bigger reaction.
The MBTA adding that it looks forward to providing the feds the requested information and showing the significant progress the agency has made. In Boston, Tammy Mutasa, WBZ News.
Tammy, thank you. And
the U.S. Transport.
All right, now let's go to CTA, because CTA is under the same exact issue. So this is going to flow very nicely into what the CTA is dealing with.
Transportation Secretary is calling out the CTA today, demanding immediate action to keep workers and riders safe.
He points to a report by our investigator, Tara Molina, about violence on the CTA. She's live for us now outside CTA headquarters. And Tara, you spoke with a top federal transit administrator today. What did they tell you?
That's right, Maria and Erica. He says it's time to address the safety concerns and security concerns plaguing our transit system and the violent crimes that we've reported on here recently. No one from the CTA was available to go on camera to address this with us today. You're looking at the letter the Secretary of Transportation sent the acting president of the Chicago Transit Authority, calling for the agency to address safety immediately. This release from the U.S. Department of Transportation citing my recent reporting.
It's a continuing cycle.
The 70-year-old CTA worker attacked and thrown on the tracks last month. We just told you about 2 more workers attacked in the last week.
You're reporting critical to really shining a light.
Mark Molinaro is the Federal Transit Administrator.
Chicago, as it relates to public safety, the Chicago system is failing. 1 in 5 Chicago citizens feel that using public transit isn't safe.
He says their team has tracked a 10-year.
And I feel like there's a reason why that is, right? I think when we show, again, going back to what I just said with MBTA, when we show these incidents, right, and they're truly like horrible crimes, right? Why is anybody doing that to a 70-year-old in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are really some messed up people out there. But again, we don't do this with any other form of transportation for real. If we don't look at biking statistics, we don't look at walking statistics, we don't look at cars, which are extremely dangerous in general. We don't look at that stuff because it's just, it's normalized. Like Like, hey, like you know, you might drive and get into a car accident with somebody who's drunk driving. We don't look at that type of stuff. And the reality of it is, it's just because we just got used to it, you know? And the same thing is like with people who actually are just generally taking public transportation over and over again, these people aren't looking, hey, like the trains might not be super safe, but like we, like, that's just kind of like living in a society. You know what I'm saying? Like going outside, touching grass, you know, like you know, it's different. It's different to, you know, be on online, terminally online. I think a lot of people, that's the issue. A lot of people are terminally online, and they just kind of like, they either watch the news too much or just kind of like just have all this crime in their face all the time, and they don't actually go outside, you know, actually try using public transportation. Because me personally, I know that car accidents are horrible. You know, there's a lot of car accidents in the U.S., but I've only seen as maybe more than two handfuls. Maybe I'll say I've only seen like around 15 car accidents in my life happen in front of me. You know, so I know it's and none of those cases were fatal. And so it's like I know that car accidents are extremely bad in the US, but at the same time I actually go outside, so I realize like, yo, they're not like, it's not like I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna instantly get hit by a car. Exactly. Like road rage is an extremely real problem. You know, people will literally fight over somebody cutting them off. They'll stop in the middle of the highway, get out, and then either start fighting with hands or start shooting each other. But again, we don't bring that up at all when it comes to this type of stuff, right? Because in the reality of it is, we know that that the amount of people who actually road rage versus the amount of people who are actually driving out there, it's not a significant amount of people. It should stop happening the same way that these violent crimes in CTA systems should stop happening. But the reality of it is, when you go out there, the likeliness of you being involved is not, it's not high at all.
Increase in crime on transit systems, including ours. So we took a look ourselves. And while we've seen a decline in violent crime since it peaked in 2019, there's been a steady increase since 2015. Molinaro telling me that letter we showed you earlier, it gives the CTA 2 weeks to get the Federal Transit Administration, quote, CTA actions and plans to reduce crime and fare evasion on the transit system, and CTA funds from all sources that are programmed to improve the security of passengers and workers. Going on to say federal funding could be redirected or withheld if prompt attention isn't given. And when my colleague asked Mayor Brandon Johnson if he had a response to this letter today,
no, I do not.
They've got 2 weeks to explain to us how they are spending federal dollars as it relates to public safety, but also what steps they will take to augment public safety on transit in Chicago.
a CTA spokesperson told me they've reviewed the letter they've been sent and they will respond to the federal government in the requested timeline. Reporting live outside CTA headquarters, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News Chicago investigators.
Tara, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, that's that. What's up, Sunrail? Yeah. So what do we think, chat? What do we what is the yeah, what are thoughts? Because like I generally think that this is like probably, and this has been happening, I think ever since COVID. This has like been like a heightened thing, and because during COVID, crime did rise in most cities, just simply because people are struggling to get by now. Not only are people bored, but people literally just lost their jobs. And in this case, a lot of people are losing their jobs right now. The economy is horrible, And so, I guess crime is again like a thing, a thing that's happening. But instead of focusing on the root cause, of course, we're doing this performative act, this very performative act of caring. Yeah, kind of cringe to gut funding to transit fund issues when you think it might invest in jobs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's a very backwards way of thinking to cut funding to people who need it. You know what I'm saying? And to avoid committing crimes, you're gonna cut funding. It just doesn't make any sense. All right. The next one, CTA warns service can stop at 9 p.m. daily without more funding from Springfield. All right, so now we're looking at a more state issue. Again, Illinois, when it comes to public transportation and funding public transportation, is very iffy. It doesn't take much to look at like Metra and just seeing like how like what's going on with Metra and just in general just like the lack of real investment going into Metra. CTA has been doing a lot better because they had the red and purple line stuff, and then the brown line got like a flyover, all that type of stuff. That was really good, and the red line is planning to actually be extended too. So there's like you can see there's a future. There's like something boiling up with CTA, which is nice to see. They just don't have any funding, so that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, there's not a lot of state funding going into public transportation, and like this is what this next news report is going to address.
From budget troubles to safety concerns, CTA passengers sounded off at a town hall tonight. Our Jermont Terry is live with the problems the CTA is facing if funding does not come from Springfield. Jermont.
Erica, CTA says it's preparing for two budget scenarios, one with money it needs to keep services going, the other with a huge budget deficit. And if that money doesn't come in, not only will passengers see cuts in services, CTA says they could stop running at 9 p.m. nightly.
With 1 million people riding the CTA by rail or buses daily, there's no doubt it is essential to Chicagoans.
I recently moved to Chicago, and one of the reasons was transit.
Will Filner is one of a dozens who packed Truman College to hear what CTA leaders are bracing for.
And a lot of the jobs that I'm applying to are not near me, so I take the L most of the time just to get to job interviews.
But services he depends on and more than 310 miles of CTA networks are on the verge of getting slashed if state dollars don't come in.
Illinois is dead last when it comes to funding transportation.
CTA war.
Yeah, so that's right. That's not good. That's obviously an issue, and I think there is obviously like I can relate to Illinois in that type of case where it's like you have a really, really large city that is basically the head of your economy. And of course you need to invest. You can't just invest in that one city alone. You have to invest in the rest of Illinois as well. But that's the issue. The rest of Illinois is not getting invested in when it comes to public transportation. So the reality of it is just like, if you are spending all this taxpayer money in general, and you live in Chicago or in the Chicago area in Illinois, it's just kind of like, where is that money actually going?
Is dead last when it comes to funding transportation.
CTA warned those in this crowd the one-time COVID dollars are going away, and its funding gap is projected to get bigger each year starting in 2026. Adding operating hours would get cut drastically.
And if we are forced to cut hours, our service may start at 6 in the morning and end at 9 p.m.
Fewer routes and restricted hours leave many worried.
My concerns are very much, the fare going up or either cutting some lines, some buses or anything like that that I usually take.
Carlos Barrentos rides CTA both day and night. He showed up to hear CTA address safety too.
No, I don't feel so. I'll be honest with you.
His concerns are heightened after Chicago police issued this community alert about a man who attacked two riders on the bus on the west side. And it comes after a 51-year-old CTA worker was pushed onto the tracks over Dearborn Street in the Loop on Tuesday. As CTA advocates for money, the acting president insisting security is just as high, touting the new CPD CTA Support Center.
And this has access to CTA cameras, it's staffed with police, with detectives, and it creates a really heightened awareness and observation from the police.
Honestly, I don't even understand how people commit crimes like this. If this is a true crash out crime, doing stuff like this on public transportation is you're truly just crashing out. You don't care at all about your life, because there are so many cameras. There's so many cameras nowadays that it's you cannot get away with doing this type of stuff. So it's and that's where, to me, it's I always hear people compare, especially in New York, compare how, or just even New York, Chicago, wherever, compare how the cities are, crime in the cities are now. And they're always it's just like the 80s. It's getting just as bad as the 80s. It's bro, we have so many cameras now. It's you're not getting away from this stuff. You will get caught in 2 days in most cases for doing a crime. We literally have AI recognition on faces. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just it's just so interesting. So interesting.
Really heightened awareness and observation from the police.
Now, as CTA calls on state funding for the fall session, CTA passengers, they want to feel safe now and not worry about the potential cuts that could come if the money doesn't come in. CTA will hold its final town hall next Thursday at Malcolm X College. Live in the Loop tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago. Erica?
Jermont, thank you.
Now to a News 4 exclusive, taking a test.
Yeah, okay, so finally we have something more positive. Going to some positive news. We're going over to Maryland now, and well, sort of positive. This project is also severely delayed, but you know what? It's all right, because eventually when this opens up in 2027, there's going to be great fanfare. I'm hopefully going to be there. It's going to be amazing, because this project is really needed for the state of Maryland, and really needed for the DC metro area. And so this project, right, as I think most people already know, is the Purple Line. It's a light rail project. It actually connects, I want to say 4 lines. It's 3 or 4 lines, metro line. So that's pretty cool. And it also goes through the University of Maryland campus. So that's also really nice. Again, I really wish I had good public transportation going through my school campus, but yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. But anyways, the trains have been here. They've been in testing for, I want to say the entire summer. So that's cool. And they are built by CAF, and are the longest light rail vehicles in the country. So that's also really nice, interesting, and random. But I guess this news report will be them riding the trains and just telling facts about the trains themselves, which, it's It's a nice little break from whatever crime stuff we had going on earlier.
Ride on the Purple Line train. This project, which will run from Bethesda to New Carrollton, is still about 2 years away from opening.
Yeah, but today, for the first time, our crews got a chance to document a test ride on the line. Transportation reporter Adam Tuss has the story you will only see here on News 4.
First ever test ride here on the Purple Line train. Let's go. Climbing on board a Purple Line train. And if you've followed this project, you know this has been a long time coming.
But this is really exciting to be on the light rail vehicle and testing light rail vehicles.
These trains are 142 feet long. They can fit 432 people. The fleet will feature over 24 of the trains crisscrossing the Maryland suburbs. Remember, this is not Metro. It's a Maryland project, although it will connect with the Metro system at various points between Bethesda, Silver Spring, College Park, and New Carrollton. And we got a chance to cruise on the tracks. All right, so you might be...
That's an interesting e-horn. Let me hear it again.
We got a chance to cruise on the tracks. All right, so you might...
E-horns on like that on light rail vehicles are always like hilarious. Even yeah, like they're just funny to me because it's just so like, I don't know, there's something so off about them.
Might be wondering how fast these Purple Line light rail vehicles actually go. The top speed is 55 miles an hour, although they probably won't hit that on certain sections of the track. Right now, we're going about 50. You can see out the window of the cab here, that's a pretty fast speed. 100% of the tracks have now been laid down in Prince George's County. More tracks and overhead power poles coming to Montgomery County.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like the design of the Purple Line train. Like even just the calf train in general, I actually kind of like it. I almost want to say it's better than the Siemens trains. Just like design wise, they look nice.
To get
like,
to a
there's
point,
like I feel like there's a certain type of like character about them, and this is also just like a nice livery as well. But without the livery, like the actual design of the trains themselves, it's a nice train.
where we could build enough so that we can test, work out the bugs, and get us on track is big for the whole project.
While the fare policy and payment systems are still being worked out, much of it will be familiar.
You will definitely be able to use your Smart Trip card and Charm Pass. Without that, you would not be able to integrate properly into the Womata system.
Right now, the big challenge is getting everyone comfortable with these vehicles. They'll be crossing at busy intersections.
We are running with vehicular traffic.
Yes, you'll be seeing them around. The trains do have technology to communicate with nearby intersections to get them through quickly, safely, and then keep the traffic moving as well. More testing to come. On the Purple Line train, Adam Tuss, News 4.
By the way, the expected opening date of the Purple Line train is now set for late 2027.
Late 2027. I was thinking early 2027. I'm not gonna lie, but this is like probably the most built up section right here. So, and the rest of the sections are still kind of have some ways to go. But late 2027. All right, it's kind of long. Anyways, let's go to a project that actually completed pretty quickly. Relative to the rest of these projects. So this is the actual title of the video. Baltimore has gotten a brand new tunnel, sorta. Not really a brand new tunnel, it's just a renovated tunnel and an upgraded tunnel. But yeah, let's go check it out.
Well, the Howard Street Tunnel is back open now. The nearly 130-year-old tunnel extends north from Camden Yards to the Mount Royal Station and is one of two major tunnel projects now complete in Baltimore. Today, Bernice has much more on how this marks a new chapter in freight and rail transportation in our city.
The Howard Street Tunnel is open ahead of schedule, and leaders say it's going to allow double-stack rail cars to move freely through the tunnel, bringing a big economic boost to the Port of Baltimore and beyond.
Move that train! This is where it all started.
A new era for rail transportation in Baltimore. The Howard Street Tunnel, a $450 million infrastructure project now complete. State, federal, and local leaders celebrating this milestone.
We shut this line down on February 1st, and here we are before October 1st, running trains through it.
That is, that's like, okay. To be fair, this tunnel isn't going under a river or anything like crazy like that. But at the same time, that is an insane timeline. Like, that's like extremely quick that they got this up and running. So yeah, congrats.
February 1st, and here we are before October 1st, running trains through it. It's a great testament to everybody who worked on this project.
The 1.7-mile-long project added about 2 feet to the CSX-owned rail tunnel, making room for double-stacked rail cars, which leaders say is a cost-effective way to transport freight compared to trucks. Officials believe this move will help reduce traffic along the I-95 corridor and deliver environmental benefits.
This is what American progress can and should look like.
Transportation officials say this historic move will also boost business at the Port of Baltimore after it took a big hit due to the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in 2024.
We got through that very difficult period. Today is about the future.
And that means jobs for the ILA, truckers, freight forwarders, warehousemen, and all kind of other good-paying union jobs.
The celebration also comes nearly 24 years after a freight train derailment in the tunnel, which led to a week-long underground chemical fire that shut down parts of downtown.
I was lucky enough to be one of the first people to work on the city part of that project, or the reopening of the tunnel at that time.
This one project is part of a much bigger story about the future of a great city, the great city of Baltimore, and the state of Maryland.
Transportation officials say the overall project is expected to expand double-stack capabilities from Maine to Florida. The overall project is also expected to be complete in 2026. For now, reporting.
Yeah, they didn't actually go too much detail into like the actual design of the tunnel itself. But so the way that they increased the capacity of the tunnel is instead of raising the top part of the tunnel, they actually lowered the bottom part. So they excavated the bottom part of the tunnel by like 2.5 feet, and then they filled it with it's like I think it was over 1,000 precast concrete structures at the bottom, and then put the ballast over that, and then laid the tracks over that, and so. The new tunnel, because this tunnel, the way that where Baltimore sits, like on the water table, so like where the tunnel sits at the water table is actually like right above it or like right next to it. So obviously that means that there's going to need to be some type of draining for the tunnel. And so in the tunnel, they actually use the original tunnel was built with free draining in mind. So that just means that the water would go into the tunnel through different like openings in the tunnel. The groundwater would go into the tunnel and then just like go through the tunnel out the other end. In this case, they made it so that the tunnels, so originally in the old tunnel, the problem was that water would also sit on the actual tracks themselves. And so obviously it's not good to have your train ties and you're also in your rail and everything sitting in water. That's not good. So instead they made it so that there's like a space underneath the precast structure for that water to flow. So now that means that the tracks will stay dry, which is good. And that means that there's not going to be any type of pooling around the actual tracks themselves. So again, this is going to help with maintenance and stuff like that. They also added pump stations in the tunnel as well. So whenever there's a hurricane or whatever that just so happens to make it all the way up here, this tunnel will be prepared for that. And yeah, so this actually was a really quick project. But the reason why is just because of investment, like actual money investment. I'm pretty sure that again after the Francis Key Scott Bridge collapsed, that some of that some of the relief investment went over to this tunnel again, because it actually just made it, because they've been trying to do this for a while, but this kind of pushed it to actually happen a lot quicker or a lot sooner. So that's cool. It's nice to see that rail transportation gets taken seriously. I wish that it would be taken seriously in the private and instead of just private freight railroads. I wish it would be taken seriously in public passenger railroads. But yeah, we get what we get. Maybe it will translate over eventually. But yeah, I don't think there is enough space for double stack. Not double stack. I don't think there's enough space for or there isn't enough space for double tracks through the tunnels. Like here in this area there is, but then it actually just converges into a single track tunnel anyways, because the interstate right here, it's basically built like cut and cover, and the cut and cover that they built in the 80s wasn't wide enough for two tracks to go through. So unfortunately, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. But that's in the 80s. Of course, that's just kind of just what the 80s was kind of known for when it comes to this stuff. Honestly, it probably could fit overhead catenary. I think. I mean, I wish that they would do it. I think we all wish that they would go through with it, but it probably could fit overhead catenary in some sense. I mean, it would be really close, like a really close fit, because I think they barely squeezed this tunnel in here the way they have it right now. I know that there's a street. The street is above at the top right here, and then below it, the tunnel actually crosses over Metro Rail, the actual subway in Baltimore. It crosses over that, and so there's around, I want to say, like 10 feet of clearance above here between the tunnel and the road, and then there's about 7 feet of clearance between the tunnel and Metro Rail below. So it was a really tight squeeze. So I don't know if they even knowing CSX and how against electrification they are, I don't even think they built enough space in general just to have anything squeeze above these double stack containers. But yeah, there goes my story for this week. There wasn't a lot. I covered a lot last week. I need to get those videos out because we were talking about Texas. We were talking about Texas, and specifically around like the Dart Silver Line and stuff like that. But this week has been kind of quiet when it comes to public transportation. Not really much happening, which I mean, it's good and bad, because typically when there is something happening around public transportation, it's not good in the U.S. But yeah. Also, this video right here, this popped up on my feed. Yo, the Metro. Hold on, before I play this. Let's see. This is only popping up on one side of my headphones. But all right. So this PSA from Metro Los Angeles, like that. This is their actual YouTube, by the way. Metro Los Angeles' actual YouTube is probably one of the most interesting transit YouTube. Like whoever is like doing this, like the public relations, like YouTube stuff for Metro Los Angeles, like I don't know, like because it's so hit or miss. Because either it's going to be extremely funny or just extremely confusing or cringe. It's like those are the three reactions, and it's just yeah. But this came up on my feed at one point, and like 90s PSAs were elite. 90s PSAs were extremely scary, and this one right here is like I don't. Oh man, hold on. This is play it.
Daddy, look at the train.
Oh boy, we're late.
Daddy, the train's coming.
It's a deal.
Please obey.
Like the screaming and everything is just like it's all just 90s PSAs were just I don't know. There was something else. There's something else. I low key wish we would bring these type of PSAs back because obviously some places need it, you know? I think PSAs have gotten too soft, you know? I feel like if Florida had these type of PSAs, then Brightline probably wouldn't be an issue.
It's a deal.
Yeah. That's that right there. This right there is yeah, I think if we have more safety videos like this in the US, you know, where we're kind of towing the line of just insanity, I think more people would pay attention to this type of stuff.
Don't risk your life trying to beat the train. You can't win. You may not even see what hits you.
And then that's it. Then it's just like 90s music. And it's just like yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that was just randomly in there. So, yeah. All right, chat. Oh yeah, tracks for trains, not for plane. Yeah, just like the PSAs in the 90s were just like looking back at those, I'm just like, what as a director, right? And like what they're so dark. Like they're so dark. But now PSAs are just like they're so normal. Let me see. Let me try to look at. All right. Okay. See, now I'm getting off top. See, now I'm getting completely distracted. All right. But this is all right. So here's some one from the Federal Railroad Administration. Stop trains can't.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right. They will. About a mile after they hit you. Stop. Trains can't.
They cooked. They cooked. They actually they cooked with that one. I'm not gonna lie. And it's 30 seconds. It wasn't too, crazy. They cooked. They cooked with that one. Let's see some more.
Once you're hit,
All right, here goes one from New Jersey Transit.
once you're hit by a train, this is the size of bag that we'll use to collect what's left of you.
Oh! Oh my. Oh my gosh. That's real, right? But that's also like see, the trains rail safety videos aren't hitting this hard anymore. Now, mind you, this was the early 2000s, but at the same time, like, maybe this is like 2000. It says it's 2010 or whatever, but I feel like this is probably older than this. But this is like, that's real right there. This is the size of the bag. Like your entire remains are going to fit in this bag.
Size of bag that we'll use to collect what's left.
Blue chat. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me move chat. All right. Okay. All right.
It was a horrible tragedy that could have been averted if we had just stayed off the tracks.
I don't want to have to be the one that has to go tell your parents that you're dead.
Make the right choice. Stay off the tracks.
Yeah, they cooked with that one. I'm not gonna lie. Starting off with this is the size. Oh yeah. Let's see what. Yeah, horror movies, safety PSAs. Nah, this is actually truly some scary stuff right here. Where's my son? Gone, reduced to atoms. Yeah. 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 So shout out to New Jersey Transit because again, like I don't see any type of PSAs like this. Like there's no safety PSAs that go this hard anymore.
Once I've applied the emergency brake, there's nothing more I can do.
You cannot stop on a dime. That doesn't exist for us.
You don't win. You don't win with the train. That sickening thump that you know is just somebody's life has just ended.
Once the police told me my son had been killed, my life was changed forever.
Going to that door to notify that family is the most horrible thing.
Make the right choice. Stay.
Yo, honestly, these ones, and you know what the issue is? We don't have any like subway surfing PSAs anymore. Like there needs to be subway surfing PSAs for like kids who like really think that like subway surfing is cool. Cause if you look at survivors of subway surfing incidents, oh man, truly not cool. They truly do not look cool anymore. Like it's going to be a rough life, especially hold on. One last one. Gotta have one last one. These are all New Jersey Transit, by the way, which is just New Jersey Transit is they cooked.
Chicken yo. Why don't you dare me?
You're pretty brave for a girl, Maria. So why do you hang with a wimp like Luis? I've had about enough of your mouth, Neil. I'm just telling the truth. Know what I mean? We'll see who's a wimp. Come on, Maria. Louise, don't be stupid.
My hand. Louise, I'm getting scared.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Before, when you were laughing at me.
Ah, whew. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Luis. You know what I'm saying? He's a real cool guy. He's a real cool guy for doing that. You know, he's gonna grow up to be great one day. I'm sure that not learning when to stop is going to be great for him as an adult, bro.
Okay? You okay?
Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, nah, he's actually Ooh! Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, see, you can tell like New Jersey Transit has oh my gosh. New Jersey Transit has kind of lowered it over the years. Like they've kind of lowered the amount of edgy that they were going for. But no, this is oh man.
24, when you were laughing at me. Okay? You okay?
Ooh, how did they even do? I'm not gonna, bro. Who? They cooked. This is cinema. This right here. This is this is cinema. This right here is actually cinema. That is that. Oh my gosh. I gotta keep going. Mind you, there's a 14-minute buildup. There's a whole story for this. I need one day I need to react to this entire story, but there's an entire story like with characters and action lines and stuff like that. Wow. Okay, so that one New Jersey Transit engineer was lying. They're not fit into a small bag. They're lying.
Come on, kids. Let's go home.
All right, is that blood? All right, look. All right, y'all were getting away with too much in the '80s. I'm not gonna lie. That like 15 minutes. 15 minutes into this entire thing, there's a whole buildup. We get to learn the characters. We get to understand them, connect with them. Just for this. This is a PSA. This is insane.
In another tragic train accident, two 12-year-olds trespassing on railroad property were killed this afternoon. Officials have not yet released the names of the children upon notification of their families.
Wait, this is the kid who told him to get on the tracks. This is the kid. Oh my. Yeah, and he wanted to act like he was all bold and stuff like that for telling Luis and all like the other girl that we should have probably watched the entire thing to learn her name to get onto the tracks. See, that's the main issue. I feel like we need to bring these type of PSAs back for kids because, you know, I feel like if we had these type of PSAs back, then kids wouldn't be subway surfing.
See a friend of yours, Tony? Come on, son. I'll take you home.
Oh yeah, Brian. Yep, the newer version. I have it. I actually have it in the recommendation right here. Hold on. I gotta react to both of these eventually. Hold on.
So like the generous person I am, I'm here to shine a ray of light on your depressing, hopeless lives. I have this.
This is such a strange age group of kids. Like, yeah, maybe it's just, what? He's just so much like he's like that's a kid. What are they doing hanging out together?
Really cool place that I want to show you guys. Right this way, you guys are gonna love it. Yo, Jason, where you going? Shortcut, stupid. If you're not afraid of a few rocks.
I don't like this guy, bro. Oh man, I like
Shortcut, stupid. If you're not afraid of a few rocks.
Evan, Mommy said we're not supposed to go that way. Aren't you trespassing?
Okay, that's his brother. Still though.
She won't know unless you tell her. Trespassing? Who cares? Oh, look
who cares?
who's here. The brave little 5th grader trying to hang out with the grown-ups. Come on.
No, honestly, L brother for not standing up for his little brother. Ain't no way I'm gonna have this guy who just talked down on me, talk down my little brother as well, and then just walk away like, nah.
Grader trying to hang out with the grown-ups. Come on. Go home.
He said okay. He's actually going home. He's actually going home. He said go home, he's actually going home. Now shout out to him.
Follow me.
This man is just so corny.
Yo, Jason, check it out. Let's see if we can smash it.
Yo, do people actually still do this? Like throw rocks at trains? I feel like do people actually still throw rocks at trains? Well, oh my gosh, his reaction, I was not expecting that reaction. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting a little bit more acting. Ah! He said, ah! You could have tried a little bit harder than that, bro. You could have put a little bit more effort into that one.
Transit train 111 to the Hoboken train dispatcher. Just been stolen by vandals. The first road crossing west of Walnut Street.
All right, brother. All right. See this? They fell off. Okay, we didn't watch the entire last video, but they fell off. They fell off because there's no way.
Just been stolen by vandals.
This man is reading off of a script. He's quite literally reading off of a script. You don't even need you got all this ketchup on you and barbecue sauce. You could literally just you could talk. Oh man. Man caught a stray for no reason. He literally got caught with a stray.
The first road crossing west of Walnut Street Station. 3 boys and 1 girl. Better notify the transit police department. Train 111 out.
Are you still driving? Is he still? You're still driving. You're not even paying attention to the tracks. See, that's why you got stoned. You see, you're too busy reading off the script. You're not focusing on what's ahead of you.
Boys and 1 girl. Better notify the transit police department. Train 111 out.
You know what? I think it was Isabel's rock. Seriously, Miguel? It's fucking smash a bug. It was Isabel's rock. I saw it. Oh, what was that? Did I hear something? Oh, it's just Little Mouse Evan. I didn't see you throw the rock, Shorty. So what are you? A mouse or a chicken? Lay off. Jason, he's only telling the truth. You're lying because she's your girlfriend. Evan's lying because he's trying to be a big man. Okay, big deal.
Okay, why? And why is this guy still his friend? And he's out here making fun of your brother. He's making fun of you. It's just why are you still hanging around this guy?
She's your girlfriend. Evan's lying because he's trying to be a big man. Okay, big deal. Smash the window. Why don't you give it a rest? Look, I'll give it a rest once I find out what kind of animal we got with us. So what are you, Evan? A mouse, a chicken, or a man?
I'm no chicken, Jason.
Are you ready to prove it, Evan?
Whatever you say.
Come on! Let's get off the tracks! Train's coming fast!
If you're a chicken, anyway, that train's far.
You okay? Evan! Come on!
Yo, L friends. L friends for real. Y'all just left him. First of all, you pushed him. I mean, yeah, you pushed him out the way of a train, but y'all just gonna leave him like this? Yo, put some L's in the chat, cause that L friends for real. L, but how is he still alive? Well, first of all, he got pushed out of the way, right? But at the same time, he was just sleeping on the tracks. He had his head all rested up against the rails, and there's no train, nobody. What? Did the police come? The police didn't see him laying on the tracks like this. He just gets to walk away. What is the storyline? Like, he has insane plot armor. Didn't get caught by the police or get hit by any trains in this entire time he's been taking a nap.
Oh, Alicia, what are you doing behind that tree?
I'm playing a game. What does it look like?
You scared me.
Whoa, what happened to you? It looks like you ran into a tree.
Who, me?
Come on, Evan. What happened? Were you in a fight?
Yeah, kind of. I was wrestling somebody.
Who?
I'm not telling, but I will tell you this. He thought he's stronger, but I pinned him.
Come on, Evan. Why don't you come with me? You can give your mom a call. It looks like you can hardly walk.
I'm okay, and I don't need help from a girl.
I'll get you some chocolate ice cream.
Are you buying?
Yeah, Vine, come on. Still hurt?
Nah, it's not. Uh-oh.
What do you think you're doing?
I didn't do it.
You want to tell me what it is that you didn't do?
Nothing.
Let's start from scratch.
Okay. All right. Listen. Listen, Jasper, listen. Okay. Listen. We can explain, all right? We're watching a PSA. We're watching a PSA, a New Jersey Transit PSA. Honestly, I planned on ending the stream like 20 minutes ago, but it became this because PSAs are just hilarious. Either because they're really scary or they just it's super corny. But I'll tell you this, as a film student, right? I can tell you that you could hear the difference between his mic and then their mic talking. So they didn't record this at the same time. So it's like all the budget from the last film, from the last PSA from 1987 just went out the window. And it's like, I don't know what happened, but no, this is like you listen carefully. You can hear the difference.
Nothing.
Let's start from scratch, son. I'm Officer Gregory, Alicia's dad.
Alicia's dad? So why are you in a policeman uniform?
Because I'm a police officer for New Jersey Transit.
What? Wait, you're his dad? Wait, you're her dad? Why are you in a police officer uniform? Because that's where he works? Bro, like, what's going on? He hit his head a little bit too hard.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Alicia.
Evan, I thought you knew my dad worked for the New Jersey Transit.
But I didn't know New Jersey Transit had its own police.
Have to. We have over 1,000 miles of track to patrol.
1,000 miles? I didn't know New Jersey was that big.
We have trains going through every part of the state, but that's not all we do. We keep the bus.
I think he literally hit his head too hard. He might have actually hit his head too hard when he was laying down on the tracks. You didn't know that New Jersey was that big? Dude, what is going on? What is this dialogue? Why are you guys? Why are the writers making him stupid?
Big?
We have trains going through every part of the state, but that's not all we do. We keep the bus system safe, handle crowd control, respond to emergencies, investigate crimes, and even do counterterrorism work.
Wow.
You kids need...
Okay, I'm sorry. This is the second time, like, acting wise, it's like, oh man, I give the kid actors some grace because it is, being a child actor is kind of difficult. Because to be an actor, you kind of have to put yourself in the emotional state of the character you're playing, and kids haven't been through a lot of different emotional states compared to an adult, so it's actually just more challenging to be a child actor. But for this guy and for the guy who literally got hit with the rock while driving the train, it's like their acting skills are just like, oh man, can you at least make it seem like you're not reading off of scripts like at all? Like, I just try a little bit harder.
Investigate crimes, and even do counterterrorism work.
Wow.
You kids need to remember that not only is it dangerous to play near the train tracks, it's trespassing, which is a crime.
I didn't know that.
Well, son, now you do.
Hey, Evan, I know a place where you can play around the trains. You want to see?
Sure.
Come on. Bye, Dad.
Have fun.
You're not concerned? Maybe it's because we just saw him playing on the tracks. Maybe it's like a little bit like concerning for us. But if my daughter would have said that, I would have been like, wait, after I just told you not to play around trains, you're going to talk about finding a place that you can play around trains in front of me? And then I'm just going to like be like, all right, bye.
Sure.
Come on. Bye, Dad.
Have fun.
No, I'll play. I'm playing. Shout out to all my model railroaders out there. But I was not expecting. I was expecting her to like, I don't know, go to like maybe like a stationary like train museum or something like that. I didn't expect it to be actual like model railroading. All right, let's get past all this. Let me get to the spot where they actually. Here.
Warning devices. Telling a family that they just lost a loved one on the tracks is serious business. Hey, how about a ride on a real train? Alicia's dad has it all arranged.
Yeah!
Ah.
Hey, Tom. Brought a few gifts with me today.
Hi, Officer Gregory.
Why are you still here? Hold on. Let me get on your face. Why are you still at work? Tom, why are you still at? You just got hit. Yo, Tom has like, he's like emotionally, he's a shell of himself. He's not there. This is not a real human being. This is not a real human being. Apparently, New Jersey Transit has already had AI driving their trains because you can't tell me that you got hit by a rock, multiple rocks, while driving a train, and in the same day you want to, I don't know, like do some charity work for the kids. Like, go home, go back to your like family.
Hey, Tom. Brought a few gifts with me today.
Hi, Officer Gregory.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, guys.
What happened to you?
I had a little encounter with some rock-throwing kids the other day.
Did they catch them?
No, they ran away, but if I know vandals, they'll be back.
Where's the locomotive?
The locomotive is located in the rear of the train, but Tom operates from the cab car, which is located in the front of the train.
Why don't I hear any noise?
Why did he struggle to say that? Like, he almost messed up those lines. The locomotive starts at the, like, bro, come on, get it out, man. You got it. If I was the director or whoever, yeah, well, you have to be the director in this case. I would just be like, all right, cut. You can re-say those lines. I would not have him out here messing up that very simple sentence. It's one line or two lines.
Back.
Where's the locomotive?
The locomotive is located in the rear of the train, but Tom operates from the cab car, which is located in the front of the train.
Why don't I hear any noise?
This is an electric train. You see those wires? Those are catenary wires. They provide the power to operate the train.
Yo, somebody send this to CSX.
If this was a diesel train, we'd have to yell at the top of our lungs to hear each other.
Somebody send this to Metra. Somebody send this to MBTA. See, somebody send this to Metrolink. Oh my gosh. Yo, I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna clip this part of the video, and then I'm just gonna start using this for my actual whenever I'm making fun of a railroad that refuses to electrify.
Okay, to the front of the train.
Why don't I hear any noise?
This is an electric train. You see those wires? Those are catenary wires. They provide the power to operate the train. If this was a diesel train, we'd have to yell at the top of our lungs to hear each other.
What would happen if you touched one of those wires?
There's no way he just asked that question. There's no way. There's this, yo. Okay, I understand that like okay, it's a PSA, so like every character has to be a little bit, well, not every character, but the kid has to be a little bit dumber than you know what I'm saying, so that they can explain this. But he could have just explained this himself. One of them could have just been like, yeah, you shouldn't touch those wires or you'll die. You'll get electrocuted. Why did they make him like, bro?
Years ago, a man tried to hitch a ride on one of the trains. He climbed on top of one of the cars, but it was an electric train. And when the man stood up, he got too close to the wires. We heard something and stopped the train. We found him alongside the tracks, dead. Big chunks of his skin were blown right out of his body.
Enough of the gory details. Let's...
Honestly, that's probably the best piece of the writing there was in this entire thing. How, like,
of his skin were blown right out of his body.
The way he's looking right here, he's like. But there's no, what do you say to that as a kid? You just kind of look at it, you're just like, damn. There's nothing you can say to that. So good writing on that part, because I would even know how to respond to that. It's like, all right, thank you. Thanks, Unc.
Enough of the gory details. Let's go for a ride.
All right.
All right.
Single indication, you'll have it. Here, Roger, Jimmy, drop in your three-step, and here we go east.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Hey kids, remember, make sure to stay away from the rail bridges and out of the tunnels. There are...
Yo, bro, come on. Like, he can read the lines better than this. He can do better. He can read the lines better than this. I refuse to believe that he can. This is his capabilities. Like, he can read lines better than this.
Hey kids, remember, make sure to stay away from the rail bridge.
Where are you looking at? First of all, okay, listen. Why are they not looking at him when he's talking? And what is he looking at? Why are they just... This is such an awkward moment. So awkward.
And out of the tunnels. There are no sidewalks. So you would be in big trouble.
Okay, so, all right, so then when did they turn around? And, all right, you know what? It's all right. It's whatever. I'm going to let it play.
From the rail bridges and out of the tunnels. There are no sidewalks. So you would be in big trouble if a train comes. There's no room left for anybody.
Okay. Yo, okay. If anybody, thank you. Okay, if somebody's, yeah, exactly, Jasper. I'm like, did anybody else just notice a reverse shot? Why do they have it? Why do they have it going backwards? It's like it's not even. I mean, I guess they couldn't have it going forward because technically, this guy is supposed to be at the cab of the train, but at the same time, it's like they couldn't have recorded a train going the other direction at all. Like out of the 100 departures, out of the 100+ departures there are on New Jersey Transit, they couldn't have gotten one train going cab first.
Hey, Miguel, here comes another train. Bet I can smash the window again.
I don't know, Jason. Last time we almost got caught.
You know, Miguel, I might have been wrong about Evan. Maybe it's you who's the real chicken.
I'm not chicken, Jason. Why don't you dare me?
Pretty brave for a girl, Isabel, since all you do is text anyway. Why do you hang out with a wimp like Miguel?
Enough of your mouth, Jason.
Hey, I'm just telling the truth. Know what I mean?
We'll see as a wimp.
You're hurting my hand.
Come on, Isabel.
Miguel, I'm scared.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Miguel, don't be stupid.
Stop anymore.
Started before when you were laughing at me.
Stop the train.
Bro, isn't that your girlfriend? This, yo, isn't this okay? In the last one, there was just two friends, but this is his girlfriend, no? What? What's going on? This is. Why are you doing this to your girlfriend, bro? What is going on?
Started before when you were laughing at me.
Stop the train.
We're never gonna stop in time.
Stop the train! Stop the train!
What's going on? All right, New Jersey, bro. The fall off is just too crazy for me. Like New Jersey Transit's fall off needs to be studied. Why did they do this? Why is it another reverse shot? Like 2 in a row is like, all right, like y'all are just you're not trying.
Isabel, you okay?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then now they got a front up shot for this one. This one it's not even that. Oh man. Yeah, this one, the fall off needs to be studied for real because this one isn't as extreme. Like I need to see we need to see the 2 shot of the train coming down the tracks and the kids still on the track and then like that type of like, you know what I'm saying? But it's missing now. It's missing.
Isabel, you okay?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't hit the same. This isn't that scary. As a kid, I'm gonna see this and I'm gonna play on the tracks. As a kid, I'm taking my chances.
In another tragic train accident, 2 12-year-olds trespassing on railroad property were killed this afternoon. Officials have not yet released the names of the children pending notification to their families.
Oh, it's the same script. I know he's not crying. I know he's not crying.
You know, this should have never happened.
That's your daughter, man. That's your daughter and her like good friend. Why? That's what you're gonna say to your daughter to like calm her down? Oh man. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, this He about to. Yeah, him alone is gonna make me end stream. Now, honestly, him and the train driver who got stoned, almost got stoned to death, and then is just reading off a script to the side. It's yeah, both of them. They're gonna make me end stream.
You know, this should have never happened.
Yeah. And then there's this guy.
Come on, let me get you guys home. Come on. Is this a friend of yours? Come on, we'll take you home with us.
No. First, I would have been like, no, this guy tried to commit manslaughter. And I don't know, not even manslaughter, bro. Like straight up tried to kill me. I'm not gonna. Damn, forgot this dude's name. Where if I'm him, I'm snitching. I'm like, yo, he actually tried to kill me. He's not my friend. He tried to kill me. That's why I was all beat up. And I don't know like where his injuries, like all the scrapes and stuff on his body is gone now, even though this is supposedly the same day. Like he literally just tried to kill you earlier today.
This a friend of yours? Come on, we'll take you home with us.
Okay, I need the I need the small Ziploc bag. This is not doing it for me. Boo. This was not it. I'm not gonna lie. This was not it. New Jersey Transit could have done better on that one.
Once you're hit by a train, this is the size of bag that we'll use to collect what's left of you on the train.
They lied. This guy lied to me. This guy lied to me. They're contradicting each other. So that's it. I'm off on that because yeah, they're contradicting each other. Anyways, guys, W long stream actually. It's the longest stream for real. We've been streaming for 100 minutes. But yeah, no. He lied to me. This is not the size of the bag that they're going to pick you up in, according to their PSA. Honestly, that PSA would have been crazy if they literally just walked around with a tiny Ziploc bag. It would have been like, this is your friend. Or, can you identify your friend? That would have hit crazy. But yeah, anyways, New Jersey Transit, you started out high. You started out around maybe like an 11 out of 10. You ended at a negative 15. So, anyways, W stream everybody. I'm out of here.